It's been a beautiful Easter weekend, especially good weather for April here in the UK. I thought I'd give you a quick whiz around the garden and show you what it looks like in late April. So starting at the front of the house, you can see the roses are just about to produce some very beautiful blooms, but they're not quite ready. One's either side of the door, a little bit further ahead, and I'll just show you the wreath that I've put, because I have seasonal wreaths on the door all the time. So I've done a spring one. I've got tulips in the pots. They're not open yet, and I'm hoping they're going to be pink because I've made the wreath with touches of pink to match. I can't actually remember what colour the tulips are. I've got my Easter bunny on the doorstep, and I have actually had to replace the box trees this year because they gave up the ghost. They don't last very long in this south facing front in pots. And now I'll take you around the back. Okay, coming into the back garden, we have my climbing hydrangea, which is in bud. If you can see there, this is very old, very beautiful, and they are great for growing on north-facing walls, which this one is. And as you enter the garden, if I just be quiet for a moment, you'll hear how loud the birds are and the sound of water, which is my pond pump, which makes a little stream effect. So this is a spring border, it's a shady border down here, which has muscari there, and we have bluebells just starting because this is quite shady, but we have an absolute plethora of primroses, all colours. These are all self-seeded. Under the bench there, and then all the way around here, just look how beautiful. And then we've got a lot more bluebells here because they get a little bit more light. The only thing I'm concerned about this year is my ferns are very late. They're not dead because there's still green in them, but there's no signs. Oh, there's a tiny, I can just zoom in, a tiny sign of it unfurling there, if you can just see. But yeah, they feel late. Maybe they're not, because we have had unseasonably hot weather actually. The hellebores are going over. You can just see here, the hellebores are starting to go over now, but they've been really good this year too. But yeah, everything's coming up, and if you go, I'll put a card in the corner. If you go, you'll see how I clear my bluebells for the summer, because I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with them, but I'll let you watch that video to find out why. So as you can see, the magnolia petals are dropping. The magnolia has been amazing, but it's just starting to come into leaf now, if you can see on there, and most of the petals are down now. So this border has some daffodils, bluebells there, tulips, and my pond in the corner, which is full of frog spawn. And then I'll turn around and show you back towards the house. So I expect you're like me, and when I'm walking around the garden, all I see are the next jobs to do. And one of them I can see right here is I need to trim my little box hedge here. It's the time of year to do it because it's not too hot, and it's also highly unlikely to be too cold either. So yeah, that's on my list to do. So I'm very happy because I've turned my fountain on for the first time this weekend, and it's all working, which is great. We've got some little daffodils in pots scattered around on the patio, and we also have tulips, but they are not out. Mine all seem to be quite late. Maybe I'll put them in a bit late, probably did, but they're looking really healthy, and I think they're going to give a great show when they actually come out. There's my olive tree. There's a video about my olive as well, which you can find back on my videos. So yeah, cushions have got to go away tonight because it's going to rain. They've been out all weekend because we have had such stunning weather. The wisteria is about on track for normal. It flowers usually in May. This end, I'll just show you. Yeah, you can see, look, the little buds are forming quite fast now, and we've even got some leaves on there as well. So it's a week, 10 days away, I think, from flowering. And I'll just take you up, because actually I've just taken the hanging baskets off here and planted them up with some petunias, and this pot is a new one, and I've put some trailing geraniums in there in lilac and white, so they should give a lovely show, hopefully. And now I'll take you up the top of the garden. So just so you know where I am, there's the patio, and I'm up on the top part of the garden now. Everything's starting to sprout in the garden. My husband's done a fantastic job weeding. Got some Solomon seal coming up there, my camellia, and then we have a clematis here, which was here when I came. It's a very dark purple. And then we've got peony bushes. They don't tend to flower so much here because it's in the shade. Bear's britches, Jerusalem sage coming there. I'm a bit worried about my flowering currant because it hasn't really flowered this year, only one side, as you can see. Just on this side we've just got flowers. The rest of it looks a little bit sorry for itself. So yeah, but we've got plenty. Now the Alliums are the start of the show in here in May. The fountain's going well. So the Alliums are all coming up. We've got buds here, look. Quite a lot coming up. I think there's about 70 or 80 in here, and they really do put on a spectacular show. So I've got to come back and show you when they are fully in flower, because I don't think I've done a YouTube video with them in flower. So we have foxgloves in here, alliums, and I have little white alliums which are all along the front, and then we have geraniums. The sun's getting in it a little bit there. There are geraniums. There is a petunia in there. And some other flowers, like some fuchsias, and yeah, I'll show you my outside room now. And swinging around from the fountain, we have our outside room where we ate Easter dinner last night. There's still the flowers on the table, just some spring flowers picked from the garden. So little primroses, muscari, some white bluebells, and some pink primroses there. So yeah, the outside room gets a lot of use, and when the weather's like this, it's just beautiful. And from the outside room, I come to the vegetable bed, which I have just tidied for summer. So we've got sweet peas in there. They're Spencer mixed sweet peas. Now Spencer sweet peas come from Althorpe. About 100 years ago, their gardener developed them, which is just up the road from me, so it feels appropriate that I have those in the garden. Then we've got my fruit bushes, so we've got a blueberry at the back here, and then we have a red currant, which is enormous, that's covered in flowers. My strawberries, which have got flowers on, so that's all a good sign. And then there's two small blackcurrant bushes that I put in last year. Got everlasting sweet pea here. And then I have just put in some purple, French beans here, which I've built these structures myself. I haven't tried purple ones before. It's a little bit early to put beans out because they aren't fully hardy, but I'm quite confident that we won't get any frost up here. There's a couple of hostas there which aren't quite ready, which I'll take down. And this section will have my courgettes in, and they are just coming up in the greenhouse, which I'll show you in a moment. I've just put some of our own compost on here, so we make our own compost from grass clippings and bits and pieces from the garden, and so that's gone on here to add a bit of goodness. So yeah, there's lots to add, and I'll take you in the greenhouse now and show you in there. Actually, above the vegetable garden, we have a crabapple here on the right hand side, and then a flowering cherry ornamental, which is bright pink, usually at the end of May. This one has actually flowered already. I think it's a crabapple as well, an ornamental crabapple. That has already flowered. But yeah, it does put lots of petals all over the vegetable bed, but they're very pretty trees. Okay, we're inside the greenhouse now. There are a couple of videos which my greenhouse features in quite heavily. I think the September garden tour, and also my greenhouse in May. I'll put a card to that one here because we're only in April, so the greenhouse is in sort of transition at the moment. So we have some seeds coming up here. We've got aubergine. There's only a couple come up there, if you can just see. All of my green courgettes have come up. only one of the yellow so far, and then all of my mini cucumbers. I have got my sunflowers still to do, and if you look at that May greenhouse video, you'll see that I do grow a lot of sunflowers because I love them all around. I've potted up this herb basket today. It's like a little rust coloured hanging basket. And I've just started with the bedding, so I showed you down on the patio that I've done some geraniums, and I've also, these are the hanging baskets, and I bring them up here. Look, there's one there and one there. They're the ones from outside the kitchen, and they have petunias in, and I like to get them going in the greenhouse before they go out, so I don't usually put them out until the wisteria's gone over. I've also got some salad leaves growing here and some rocket down this end. And yes, some sort of plants waiting to find homes. This is a new succulent. I do love my succulents, and I haven't done all of them. So some of them have been repotted. This is one of them. But then I have a load more out here waiting. I've got a tray of new ones there, and then some old ones that need repotting. Oh, look. These tulips are just opening. Yesterday weren't open at all, but look how pretty those are. So yeah, just have a little view back down the garden and appreciate the beautiful weather.